Hello, community members. So I wanted to pop in today and just give you a really quick tutorial on website development and design. So this is different than the other website course that I created, which I'll link down below. That was more of a why do you put what you put on your website? So in that article, I talked more about pages and program pages and who's actually coming to your website, why we need to build rapport and connection to people before they get to our website, and then what the website actually does. And today I want to give you a little tutorial on what happens once we get to that stage of building a website. I think everyone should have one. I think websites are just as powerful today as they were even a couple decades ago when people were just getting started. Even though the industry is hyper-saturated and everyone who does anything in the world today has a website, you still need one. Because even with referrals and recommendations and great communication and lots of rapport building, at the end of the day, people are going to go to your website and see if it matches what they think they know about you. So especially in our industry as relationship business owners, people who work with people, all of you inside the community and inside the practice are service-based businesses. So we're going to need to get to know you in a digital space just as much as we would want to get to know you in person. So let's walk through this, shall we? So I use Squarespace, and right here is what squarespace.com looks like. If you are new to web development and you do not have a website yet, I highly recommend Squarespace. I'm not an affiliate. I'm not connected in any way. It's a totally biased opinion. I just really enjoy their background, and I find their templates to be super easy to use. So if you're new to web development, go ahead and get a Squarespace account. And you can sign up for pretty inexpensive. You also get a domain and you can also get email through them. So once you're in, this is what the background of my Squarespace looks like. My primary site is over here. I also have a website for each of my primary programs. I'll talk a little bit about why I do that. I have Awaken Your Life and Awaken Your Practice, which I developed into individual sites this year. But we're going to start by looking at my primary website, which is andrealeda.com. So I'm going to walk you through the design element. So I'm not going to stop and look at content today. That's a different topic. So that would be our sales pages, our content behind the website, your about page, your program pages, all of that. But I'm going to walk you through what's actually on my website and why. So this is my home page, and it is what we call a cover page. So a cover page is basically a single page, so you can't scroll. There's no scrolling, and there's only one thing you can do on this website. So on this homepage, you can either opt in or opt out. So I did that because I don't get a ton of traffic, but the traffic I do get, I want to convert to email subscribers. That is the primary goal of my website, is to convert people to an email list or to join my community, because that's where I can create a lot of trust and rapport, and those are required in order to sell people programs. So I used a cover page for this, and I uploaded a full image here. You'll see a lot of imagery on my website of me that was done professionally. If you do not have professional headshots, that's going to be your number one thing before you even build a website. And if you don't have a ton of money, this is the one place I would put a little bit of cash, is in professional photos. I have my headline here. So I used a process called story branding, and that's how I came up with my tagline, which you're going to see throughout the website. And then I have a little info about what you get by opting in. And then you'll notice that I call my email list the inner circle. It is just a playful way of calling my email list something other than an email list. And I still use what's called a email bait, which basically means you sign up and I give you something for free. So right now you get my Truth Serum workbook, which is a journal book, when you enroll in my email. So hit request invite and you can put your email in there and join. Even though it's free, I like to be more playful with language. So instead of subscribe, I use join. Instead of email subscription, I use inner circle. So don't be afraid to get playful with that. And then over here is a little secret button that says not yet. So if they're not ready to subscribe, they hit not yet, and it takes them to my actual homepage, which you can see here is andrealeda.com/home. So this is my website. And again, this is a Squarespace template. And again, full website imagery throughout the entire website. So again, I'm reiterating who I am and what I do. So I am a professional coach. That's key right up here. And then I'm also using my tagline, will help you change more lives by being yourself. Again, that entire tagline I got by going through the story brand process. On my homepage, you'll see up here, there's a few things and a few things missing. So I have my actual program pages at the top. First, my free community, then my coaching program, my business mentorship, which is also called Awaken Your Practice, and my coach training program called Awaken Your Life. Now, the way that we read, the way that the brain reads is from left to right, like a Z or a zigzag pattern. So you want to put your most important content over in the right-hand side, which is why I made it slightly larger and a different color. So all of my active buttons, things I want people to click on the website, are going to be in this color blue, which is one of my branding colors. This button here, I change out depending on what I'm currently enrolling in. So last month it was the coaching circle, and in a couple months it'll be the business mentorship. So I always make sure that this is updated with the program that I'm currently enrolling in. What most people do is they put about, contact, blog, FAQ, testimonials up in their menu bar, and that's not very engaging. And what I see most of the time is people put the least interesting tags over here in this right-hand corner, which is super valuable real estate on your website. So I better not see things like FAQ over here in the right, because it's not very engaging. If we scroll down, again, I reiterate my process. This whole thing right here, imagine you could go from who am I to do this magical thing in the world to who am I not to, still a part of the brand story process. And then my 3 steps: say yes, be yourself, change more lives. Those are my 3 simple steps. Again, this entire process is from StoryBrand. And then here we go. There's the first of my buttons, bright blue. Again, this button, so right now it's for the Master Coach Training Program. This will change out depending on what program I'm currently enrolling in. Testimonials are key. If you're going to have a testimonial, I recommend you also have a photo. Then the next thing I would like you to click on is my community. Now you'll notice this is what we call in a passive button. This is called an active button. Active buttons are direct calls to action. Passive are a little less direct. So this is a join for free. You'll see some of these buttons throughout the website that are more black and white. And again, active buttons are blue, branded blue. This is my community, which you guys are in, so you know what that goes to. Then there's a little mini about. Again, read my story. This is a passive button. I have a little blurb for my about, some of the key things that I think are important for you to see about me really quickly, but you can always click on that to my about page. More testimonial. And then what you're going to see, this is actually my footer. So everything below this line here is my footer, and I have my footer on every single page. And there's always an email subscription box, again, to join my inner circle. And you'll notice it's in the right bottom corner. So I want that important info down there in the right. And then down here, I have my social media buttons. And then in what we call the junk drawer, there you're going to find all the stuff that typically goes at the very top. My about page, programs that I'm not currently are not enrolling in actively, my blog, and my contact page. And then just because I want it reiterated throughout the whole website, again, another button to apply for my coach training. Let's click on some buttons. So first, we have the Join Free Community. This is a free, you guys are inside of it, you know exactly what it is, but I still wrote a sales page for it. So here's a sales page to a free program. But again, what I want to point out is these active buttons. Join instantly. That is an active request, and it's in that bright blue. There it is again. And again, and I think it's even one more time at the bottom, and again down here. So most of the time, we're not putting enough calls to action on a single page. That's something that I highly recommend you do. Make sure you have enough places on your website for people to get engaged. Let's click on the coaching circle. That's my one-on-one coaching program. You'll also notice really quickly, I don't have drop-down menus. So the button is the page. And I do that because too much information, people are going to lose interest really quickly. So I want it to be really clean. So if there's a button, it goes to a single page, not a drop-down menu. So don't have a tab that says programs and then you drop down to 8 different options. If you have 8 programs, we need to A, edit, and B, we need to only put a couple at the top. So this is my coaching program. Now, I only enroll in my coaching program a couple times a year. That's not common, but at some point you may consider it. And if you do, then we want to make sure we're capturing people's contact information in between enrollments. So you'll see here I have a opt-in box. That way, if someone is interested and I'm currently not enrolling, so my next enrollment isn't until next year, they can put their email on the wait list, and then I can contact them when the enrollment opens. Again, reiterating my 3-step process, really simple: testimonial, sales page, the details of the program. And then down here, this is how the coaching circle works. Again, really simple, 1, 2, 3 steps, how to get started. And typically when the program is in enrollment mode, there's purchase buttons down here. But because it's not currently open, I have the, again, reiterating, get on the wait list box. Again, more testimonials, more FAQ, more testimonials. So you'll see that's kind of the same system I use for every single sales page. Now, you can keep all of your programs on one website. I chose to build out separate web pages for my business mentorship and my master coach training program because I wanted to give people the full experience when they're on those pages and make it easy to market when I'm in enrollment periods. So my business mentorship is awakenyourpractice.com. This is the 4-day business mentorship I created about 4 years ago, and there's an online version and a live workshop. So you'll see here, super simple, option A, option B. There's not a bunch of language up here. There's not a bunch of tabs or about pages, really clean. Here's an active button. I want people to register today. Now, the next version of this that's coming up is the online course. You'll see that reiterated down here. And then the live workshop isn't until the spring. And so when this runs, when the online course is done running, I'll flip those and make sure that this becomes the focus. Again, you'll see those active register buttons throughout the website, testimonials, as well as a passive button. So if they wanted to take a master class, I have that down here in the footer. And then down here, there's another junk drawer with things like about the program, meet your teachers, FAQ, things of that nature. So if you clicked on any one of these sites, super clean. Again, tells exactly what it is. And you can study this for content, but again, you're going to see a lot of themes throughout my websites, very much the same template. 1, 2, 3 steps, a little bit about the program, testimonials, and again, a enrollment waitlist box because it's not currently enrolling. So I actually want to collect email lists. I don't want to just have stagnant buttons on my website if I'm not currently enrolling in something. So that way people can put their email on there and I can reach out to them when it does enroll. And that is the same for the live workshop as well. So we'll go back to my home page and we'll click on the Master Coach Training Program, which is awakenyourlifecoach.com. Now this one does have a little bit more information, and here's why I did that. There's one program and it launches once a year, and there's a single enrollment period that typically happens for the final couple months in the fall. Because this program is pretty intensive in terms of how much is included in the program, I really wanted to give people the idea of what they're getting, and so I did leave the about page, the curriculum, the residency, so our retreat training, about our teachers, our tuition button, and our application. But I will point out here, again, no drop-down menus, clean, super clean, as well as I pulled out the things I knew people would be most interested in. They're going to want to understand the curriculum. The in-residency part of this program is really popular, so I wanted to give it its own page. And the tuition, people are going to go searching for that. So why not just give it to them up front and put it in the top? And again, the most important button being over here in the right-hand corner, application. I want people to apply. Again, we have a basic homepage. Apply today is probably repeated on this website about 50 times. So it is everywhere. I want people to enroll. You can learn about the program, you can learn about more of the details of the program, but ultimately what I want people to do is enroll in the program. So those are my current websites. I hope that was a helpful, really short tour of what I'm doing behind the scenes, some of the design components. Again, if I were to start from scratch tomorrow, not knowing anything, I would use Squarespace for my template. I would get rid of all my drop-down menus. I would put my primary programs at the top. I'd put all of my basic about FAQ contact at the bottom in the junk drawer. I would make sure and have plenty of active buttons that go to single programs, and I would also make sure that I have plenty of spaces on each website or my single website to collect emails. That's the primary goal, is to get people on my email list. All right, guys, go ahead and put a comment below or ask a question. I'm happy to support you, and check out your website. All right, take care.